Hi everyone, David A. Cox here with Tech Talk America. Folks, I'm here to break down Apple's big announcement yesterday on September 12th, 2017. Here's what we got. We have upcoming a brand new Series 3 of the Apple Watch, a brand new 4K version of Apple TV, and also the iPhone 8 and 8 Plus, and finally the iPhone 10. Let's break it down. First, we have a brand new Apple Watch coming out. And the big announcement here more than anything is that now the Apple Watch is going to have a cellular option. And more than anything, to those of you out there who are joggers, runners, really just anyone who likes to do things without their phone attached to their hip, this is great news because it means you'll be able to make phone calls, text messages, all without your phone, just nothing more than your Apple Watch. Also, I have to say from a safety standpoint, this is a pretty good thing because as Apple showed us in one of their demo videos, if you're in a car accident, you can make a 911 call, or emergency services, I should say, since we're international, from the Apple Watch. Now, one thing Apple did not mention in the presentation is that because the Apple Watch has its own connection, that also means that you need to add it to your plan. So if you're planning on getting the Apple Watch with cellular, be prepared for at least a $5 a month fee to be able to use it. Also, the Apple Watch interface is going to get a bit of an update as well, which is going to show you information like, for example, your resting heart rate, as well as other important pieces of health-related information. Now, what this is really going to help with more than anything is for folks who maybe aren't aware that maybe there is something going on with their heart, that their heart speeds up for no apparent reason, the Apple Watch will now notify you if it senses those kinds of issues. And the other big announcement about the Apple Watch is that now Siri will talk back to you. Now, I will tell you this, back when I had my Apple Watch, that was one of the key features that I really missed. Especially when you have bright light behind you, it can be hard to see your Apple Watch, and when you make a Siri request, it's really nice to hear it confirmed that it was correct. The next announcement we had from Apple was the 4K version of Apple TV. Now, I love my Apple TV, now the old version. It's a phenomenal tool for accessing just whatever content you want on your television. But the new version here will now have access to 4K quality video, which is great in that it's very, very lifelike. But there's something important out here that I think a lot of you should probably consider before you buy this product. Consider this. The difference in file size between 1080p high definition video and 4K quality video is a very big jump. So if you want to buy this product, I totally understand the reason for why people would want to buy it, but you should consider, do you have a data connection that is strong enough to support it? Now, Apple on their website is claiming that the minimum speeds are 15 megabits per second, but keep in mind, that is the bare minimum. And also, that doesn't take into factor other devices that you have that are accessing the internet. So if you like to watch a movie while Junior's on his cell phone and Sister's doing her thing on her iPad and Mom's on her thing, whatever it is, understand that that's going to eat away at your bandwidth. So make sure that if you go for the 4K version, that you have the amount of bandwidth to be able to support it. Now, if you're not sure if you do, one of the things I would recommend you do is just check out speedtest.net. Pay no attention to the ads that are on that site, but just get an idea of what your speeds are. And I would say, really, if your speeds are more than 50, you're probably good to go. But less than that, you might want to reconsider it. And I will tell you that if you're bummed out that you can't maybe get the 4K version of Apple TV, the 1080p version is still a great purchase, and I use mine every single day. Next, we move on to the iPhone 8 and 8 Plus. One of the big announcements here is wireless charging. Now, thankfully, Apple adopted a very widely used standard for wireless charging known as Qi, spelled QI. And it looks like Apple's going to be introducing their own wireless charging pads. If you want to pick up one in advance, I'll give you links in the description of the video to some good ones that are made by Belkin, which I'm a big fan of. Now, for those of you out there who are really more than anything interested in the camera in these phones, let me just basically explain it this way. The cameras themselves are basically the same in all the different models that Apple is releasing. What's different here is the software. So the software now has the ability to change the way the photo actually looks by doing things like customizing the lighting, which is awesome. It's a very cool feature. For me as a photographer, it's something I absolutely get very excited about. But for those of you out there who are something like an iPhone 7 or 7 Plus, if you're wondering, is it really that much better for me to spend $699 plus to be able to get those features? Probably not. In fact, I'd say you're probably better off staying where you're at for now. Like I said, a lot of the features about these cameras are really going to focus in on gamers. So if you don't really care so much about augmented reality, stay with what you've got. This is not going to be a big thing for you. And then that brings us to the iPhone X. Now, there's a lot going on here, so let's try to break this one down. Let's go over the new features. The biggest feature is the fact that you can now unlock your phone just by looking at it. It has all these different sensors that are in the front that analyzes your face and uses your face to unlock the phone, which results in a few little changes. There's no longer a home button, so there's some user interface changes certainly, but that's the big part. We also have an edge-to-edge display, something that's been around in Android phones for a while now. The whole phone is made of glass, front and back, which means it'll be easier than ever to crack it. Waterproof, super OLED screen. Okay, it's got a brilliant screen. We get it. Here's the problem. So when Apple's presenting this new technology on stage, we twice saw basically it fail, where they tried to unlock it from someone's face and it did not unlock. Now granted, that could be because they're in a studio, there's studio lighting, that is a possibility. But the thing here to keep in mind is that this is relatively new technology, folks. So whether you're a gamer who's interested in the augmented reality aspects of this phone, or whether you're a photographer who's just interested in being able to really customize the lighting, the thing is there's a lot of new stuff in this phone regardless of whether or not you use it. And when we've seen these kind of technologies come out before, it usually takes them a generation to get the bugs out. So if you're interested in the iPhone X, my advice is to wait one generation. Another aspect that I think we should probably have a little discussion about, in fact, I welcome your comments in the comment section below, is I think there's going to be a certain degree of the population who's going to hear Apple say the words that your iPhone now knows who you are, and it's going to feel reasonably, understandably uncomfortable about that. Share your thoughts down below. I also want to say, as a guy who does shoot a ton of video on his iPhone, that one of the things that I've learned about filming in general is that the easiest way to screw up any shot is to accidentally have sunscreen on your hands and then touch the camera. So if you're using your face to unlock an iPhone, you know, we all have oil in our hands. Is that going to become an issue now just to unlock your phone? Oh yeah, it's also $1,000. So if you have $1,000 to throw away at a phone, yeah, good luck with that. Now for those of you who are curious, I probably will purchase, at least initially, the new Apple Watch, the new Apple TV, and the iPhone 8 Plus. I'll probably hold off on the iPhone X. I'll let the other guys who are out there who review iPhones take care of that one, but for me, it just seems like kind of a waste at this point. Finally, before we go, I just want to say a big thank you to the folks at Postmark. It's the first clothing company that I approached asking if they would be a sponsor for me here, and they were gracious enough to accept. So I want to say a big thank you to them. I've been wearing their clothing in the past couple videos here and hope to continue to in the future. They have amazing style. If you like it, check it out. Links to their stuff in the description of the video. Thanks for watching, everyone. This is David A. Cox with Tech Talk America. Class dismissed.